All right, guys. So this is being recorded on Sunday before tomorrow's season opener for everyone in the OVC. As far as I know, it looks like everyone is playing tomorrow. It's going to be a full slate of non-conference games. So this is just going to break down what was, I believe, 3 teams that had exhibition games before tomorrow, which won't count. I know Tennessee Tech had 2 games that they played, so we'll review those briefly, and then we'll just look forward to what's on the schedule for the immediate week for every team. Before we do that, I just wanted to kind of recap this crazy-looking table that, again, is through bartorvik.com. There have been some slight fluctuations from and then you know what? Let me move this so I'm not in the way here. Some slight fluctuations of rankings in terms of all the Division One teams. So I'm looking at this number right here. If you're following my cursor, the ranking number. Nothing is major, which isn't shocking. I think every team has improved their ranking. So I say here it's a positive shift. TSU went up 4 spots, so they're up to 204 nationally. Moorhead up 2. Edwardsville up 3. Tech up 3. Martin down 1, which again, it doesn't make sense because they didn't play anybody, so something must have happened. But Little Rock up 3. EIU up 1. SEMO up 3, which is, I mean, they actually played an exhibition game, which is interesting. The teams that played, it just makes no sense because Tech went up and they lost to Texas Southern Pulaski, right? So, and now that I look at this, I guess, yeah, they went up. Yeah, and then WIU went down. So, okay. Martin and I guess Western Illinois are the only 2 teams that dropped. So, basically the theme of that was just to highlight that everything is pretty much stagnant from last time. Okay. Exhibition recaps. You have Tennessee State. None, as in no exhibition games played. They opened the season against Fisk, who I can look up real quick to see what division they're in, because off the top of my head, I do not know. I know Kentucky State is not D1. Fisk is a NAIA school. And then, let's see, Kentucky State. Kentucky State is, let's see if I can find it, Division 2. So, Moorhead State, they did not play an exhibition, but they played 24 ranked Alabama. This is actually a crazy schedule. Henry Schroeder, if you guys follow Valley Hoops, jokingly, when interviewing Coach Preston Spradlin, he said, your schedule with the Lakers weren't available because, look at this. They played Alabama. Shawnee State is a nice, gap. But Shawnee State, I believe they won the NAIA championship. If they didn't, they were in the, in the final group. They had EJ Onu on that team. Shawnee State did. I know I'm kind of straying, but he was a NBA draft prospect for a while. Now he's playing professionally in Canada, so that's not a joke. And then they play Purdue, who Matt Painter is just openly saying, our goal is to make the Final Four, which coaches don't like to do necessarily, just put that kind of pressure on themselves. So SIUE, they did play an exhibition game. They played this ever-mysterious East-West University from Chicago, who always seem to play like a handful of Division I schools. They don't have an updated website from before COVID or during COVID, so it's very hard to see who's on the team. They beat them convincingly. They play at Dayton on Monday, which will be nice. Then North Park, also out of the Chicagoland area, who's a Division III, but they were voted. North Park was voted to win their conference. I believe there's like an Illinois-Wisconsin league that they compete in, so they're the best of their league. And Brian Baroni gave them, he said verbatim, they're a really, really good team. So he has high praise for them. One thing to note from this East-West Uni game, or East-West University game. Brian Yancey stood out. He had 9 points. I know he's someone who we touched on briefly transferring from JUCO. So I just put some more of his statistics just coming from the SIUE website. So he was in double figures at his JUCO, 24 of 29 games, career high of 32. I mean, he's averaging 16-3. I mean, 34% from the three, which is great. And Northwest Kansas Tech, when you look up who they play Independence College. They play schools that are well known. This is not just some run-of-the-mill JUCO. Where you're just playing whoever. So Tennessee Tech, they had a pretty miserable exhibition schedule. They played UT Southern, then they lost. It was a close game. Josiah Davis had a nice game in that one, so the crowd got to see kind of what he can bring because he played sparingly at West Virginia, but they lost. And then they got beat in what Austin Peay on their website was calling a monster victory for them. I mean, they got blown out by Austin Peay. Both games, and if anyone is interested in reading maybe a little more about it, I talk about it on my Substack page, and that's just Wiz Goes to Evansville. But the main issue in both of those games, and I'm going to see if I can maybe pull up. If not, then we won't bother reading it. But let's see here. Okay, so I'll go through maybe some statistics from these losses. The score in that Austin Peay game was 83-43. So I mean, we're talking about it wasn't even close. Their only lead was at 3-2 because Javis Harvey hits a three. I want to add that the team Austin Peay, they have a guy named DeMarcus Sharp who's a career all-time leader in threes. I know that what stands out from both these games, even the Pulaski game, the Texas Southern Pulaski, is that these were really good three-point shooting teams. And then we were terrible from the line. We were 4 for 26 from the three, with David Early hitting 2 of 7. I say we as in just the OVC, so Tech, right? Riley Salmons was 0 for 5. He was a freshman. I mean, I could go through guys that we couldn't get anywhere. For Tennessee Southern, they were 6 for 12 from deep in the first half. And then Tech was 4 for 17. So, in just comparison, while one team was shooting well, Tech was not. There was also a lot of turnovers in this loss to Austin Peay. Let's see here. I want to say, do I list how many turnovers there were? Tech's point off turnovers 2, Peay's points off turnovers 23. So I'm not worried. I think that's just what exhibition games are for. So anyway, we'll see how they fare. They play. I didn't even put who they play, actually. Unfortunately, I should probably look that up for you guys. They play. Who do they play this week? Let's check it out. Tomorrow they play Tennessee, 9th ranked Tennessee, and then after Tennessee they play Murray State. So that'll be fun. That'll be on Friday. All right. Speeding this video up, Tennessee Martin did not have an exhibition game. They played Champion Christian, which isn't one of these. This is the strangest subdivision of. This is like the Christian, and this is I just say that not because it's religiously affiliated. This is an odd. This is like separate from NAIA. This is like their own little league. So still legitimate college, but on a lesser level in terms of athletics. Then they have a nice test against Mississippi State. So that'll be a prime time. They'll get a little bit of coverage on the program. Little Rock, they did not play exhibition games. They play Texas State tomorrow. UIC up here by me on Friday. So that's a game that would be enticing to go to just to see how Little Rock looks. Eastern Illinois, they play 25 ranked Illinois. tomorrow. Then they play Monmouth, which is an Illinois-based D3, and then Saturday they're at Illinois or Loyola Chicago. So very in-state. This is a game that I may attend. We'll see. This one I put my cursor on. SEMO played Division II Henderson State. They go to Grand Canyon tomorrow, and they're at Butler in historic Hinkle Fieldhouse on Friday. Aquan Smart had a really nice box score against D2 Henderson State. This was a close game. Josh Early helped them pull away, and I just pulled this from their website, SEMO's website. They never trailed after half. Got a nice lift from Josh Early to start the second half. Early scored the first 8 points in just over 3 minutes. His dunk at the end put them up 46-37. Henderson State hung around, but SEMO took care of business. Lindenwood plays Nebraska on Monday and Iowa State Thursday, so this is quite the gauntlet for them. That'll be interesting. We'll see how Keenan Cole does. I'm really curious to see. I know these are both going to be pretty big losses, but it'll just be kind of cool to get that experience. And we saw Eastern Illinois, beat Iowa, so anything is possible, right? Western plays Texas San Antonio. They're supposed to lose, but only by a handful of points. SMU on Wednesday, and then St. Ambrose, which is also NAI school, just in the Quad City area on Sunday. USI goes to St. Louis. Michigan State. I mean, this is the beginning. Then they play Duke eventually, but this is this is tough. And Coach Stan has said that he doesn't like the scheduling, laughingly, but he also admitted that the only way they'll beat St. Louis is if they hold them to under 50. I think that was a question posed to him. How does USI win against St. Louis? If we hold them to 50. It was like one of those Mad Libs. So we'll see if that happens. I know that St. Louis has a couple of big guys there, or at least, one big guy specifically that's still technically ineligible. So Stan jokingly was hoping that would remain the case. Michigan State, they're a top 5 team ranked nationally, so it'll be more for the experience. And then they play Chicago State, which they should have those 2 5-star guys, the guys that played at Overtime Elite, the twin brothers, who I believe are still eligible. I know they're suing the NCAA for forfeited games, but they should still be eligible. I could be wrong. If they don't, Chicago State is just a nice practice game. It's a home and home because I know that they played up here in Chicago in the area last year, so now this one will be at USI. So that'll be all for this video. We'll talk to you guys on the next one. Looking forward to next week and then recapping this week here. So thanks, guys.